Thinking like Batman. I'll be honest, it's a tricky video to make. As a greater DC fan, I want rep for the greater DC universe. When making my fan project, Earth 47, I made a deliberate choice not to make a Batman figure, because I wanted to give other dudes rep. Did focus on a Batman villain, but he was made of clay, so how could I resist? I look at a lot of recent Batman media and think, another Batman animation? Give me more of that fun Superman show. That said, I can't help but think of Batman in his greater world. Batman is a normal person, and a folly of being a normal person is dealing with the contradictions. I have some ideas revolving around the character, as well as supporting characters, villains, and general adaptations, but I figure I should do something focusing on Bruce Batman. Okay, so Batman's supposed to be a normal superhero. How does a normal person really aspire to be the Batman? Not so much in a physical prowess, but good god, it would be so cool to pull off a multi-fear takedown. But maybe a bit of a mental prowess. Now, something to note is that there are very specific aspects to Bruce's life that are out of his control and are very specific to him. Bruce lost his parents at a very young age. Most people don't fall to that sort of tragedy. Bruce is a literal billionaire. Even less people experience that kind of wealth. However, people do experience loss, even if it starts out small as a pet. And people do understand the value of money, at times saving enough to accomplish dreams. Talking about factors people can't control, what about people's first impression of Batman? Because everyone has their first Batman film. From the '89 movie to the 2022 movie. Weirdly enough, my first real impression might have been the 1966 Adam West movie. That might just be my favorite Batman movie for just how fun it is. From Batman's lecture on drinking, the spicy romance with Miss Kitka, throwing a lot of villains into water, a lot of great stuff. And even outside of that, I remember a lot of Scholastic's kids books, which just depicts Batman solving cases and aren't really anything challenging. So, that's my introduction to Batman. Not exactly the dark and brooding character, but someone from an old VHS tape and who taught me to read. Honestly, I was a little late getting into superheroes. It wasn't until I was like 12 in 2010, thanks to the internet. By then I was watching some Young Justice, Superhero Rewind, and Arkham gameplay. And through that eventually I got Batman's true nature. Funny enough, I find within the various Batman media, the aspects that I'm drawn towards more are versions that are lighter, or at least don't make Batman seem like this dark abyss. The whole point of Batman being the most supreme person he is he gets out of the abyss. There's a lot of media rep for Batman, from comics, animated shows, movies animated or live action, video games, a bit lacking the live action show department, a lot of shows with Batman elements, but basically none that are straight up Batman shows since the 60s. Would combine the best of both worlds with live action movies and animated shows, but I guess it's too much of a moneymaker when it comes to big screen. Business. A specific aspect to draw attention to is the video game, as literal simulated Batman experiences. A specific example to draw to would be the Arkham games as full-fledged Batman experiences, with sprinkles of Telltale with some Bruce Wayne simulation. Arkham provides a variety of options from combat to stealth. It's interesting to think the gadget progression throughout the games. If you go all the way to the start of Arkham Asylum, you literally just have batarangs and basic combat. Sure, enter the Supermax with just batarangs, but as you go along the game, you get new gadgets, and throughout the games you get to play with even more stuff. It's really fun evolving your combat, especially your stealth capabilities with what you got. Isolate a few with silent takedowns, maybe cause a distraction here or there. When low enough, start disrupting some of their weapons, while freezing someone for final blows. You also get to play as other characters through mostly challenge maps. So really, it's not just playing it like Batman. You get to play as the whole Bat family with their own special moves. At this point, Arkham Shadows isn't out, and even then I'm mostly just judging its narrative, because I don't quite have the money or grit to try it at this moment. Another aspect with Batman within the games are the mind puzzles. Characters from Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul, Mad Hatter, and heck, a mental repressed Joker are bound to trip you up. It's not easy being Batman, but that's what you have to push through. One of the most dynamic segments is with Mr. Freeze boss fight, where I have to perform various stealth maneuvers against a guy who learns to anticipate. You gotta think on your feet and change things up, and as a sign of respect in the end, he gives you some ice bombs. Anyway, on to Telltale, not as much to grab onto compared to Arkham. We'll say it offers a bit of the Bruce Wayne side, with some liberties taken in the world. Not as replayable or dynamic as Arkham, but could offer some insights. Think which characters to interact with, some pros and cons. Go off to episode 1 Gala section and see how you feel from there. Also might be fun with friends to mess around with choices. Second game ends up offering even more variety with the Joker of all people, with 2 totally different final chapters based off of choices in the last one. These are immersive experiences, but evidently, there's a lot more to people's experiences than ever-responsive AI. Sometimes you gotta conquer the really dark feelings to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Loneliness is an interesting concept. If a lot of people are lonely, then why keep yourself boxed in? Just talk to someone. Admittedly, there are more layers to making a meaningful connection. Honestly, sometimes you could talk to a lot of people and still feel isolated. Sometimes it could be a caring community, and even then, there's only more isolation when trying to enter. Sometimes I'm okay with loneliness. It's good to at least get used to feeling lonely sometimes. And I believe there is a path out of loneliness. Just gotta make the meaningful steps. I gotta say, there's this animated project I made way back. When I first created this scene, I didn't really think much of it. But after going through some shit, it actually does hit a bit on rewatch.
What do you want me to think?
Just feel, you got friends.
As mentioned, there are a lot of flavors to Batman, and honestly, there are some versions that seem to fall just deeper into the abyss. Some where he pushes more people away who try to care. Versions that cross over the line to take a life. Heck, versions where he's possessed by the Joker. I mean, you know how basically every Batman villain represents a different dark path you could take? I am the smartest there is, and I'll say cryptic rails to prove it. I freeze everything so I cannot feel anything, including myself.
There are 2 sides, and I let fate decide.
Give in to Mother Nature. Return to the natural order.
Embrace fear and become a nightmare. Who cares when it's all one big joke?
Of course, that's why there are versions of Batman that try to be better. Ones that open up to allies, through the Bat family, or if you adverse to them, then at least Alfred and Commissioner Gordon. Maybe versions that can even be lighter and put on a bit of a show. Superman lives in a fortress of solitude. Maybe there could be some relation there. And good to make some friends along the way. Anyway, this was fun to make. Cheers.